2017 World Series. The 2017 World Series was the championship series of Major League Baseball's MLB 2017 season. The 113th edition of the World Series, it was a best-of-7 playoff play between the National League NL champion Los Angeles Dodgers and the American League AL champion Houston Astros. The series was played between October 24 and November 1. The Astros defeated the Dodgers 4-3 to win their first World Series in franchise history, also becoming the first team from Texas to do so. They became the second team in postseason history to win 2 Game 7s in one postseason, after the 1985 Kansas City Royals. It was the first time since 2001-2002 when 2 consecutive World Series went to 7 games. Both teams set a World Series record with a combined total of 25 home runs throughout the entire series, including a team record 15 home runs by the Astros and 10 home runs by the Dodgers, and hit a combined total of 8 home runs in Game 2 to set the single-game World Series mark. Houston outfielder George Springer was named the World Series Most Valuable Player MVP after hitting 5 home runs in the series to tie a World Series record with Reggie Jackson in 1977 and Chase Utley in 2009. This was the first World Series in which home field advantage was decided by the regular season record of the 2 pennant winners. From 1903 to 2002, home field advantage had been determined by coin flips and by alternating between the AL and NL. From 2003 to 2016, it was determined by results from that season's All-Star Game, when it was awarded to the team from the winning league. The Dodgers earned home field advantage over the Astros. The series was played in a 2-3-2 format, with the Dodgers hosting Games 1, 2, 6, and 7, and the Astros hosting Games 3, 4, and 5. The Astros' victory became controversial when MLB determined in 2019 that they had been illegally using technology to steal signs from opposing teams during their championship season, in addition to during the following season. As a result, the Astros were fined $5 million and docked several top draft picks, while Astros manager Jay Hinch and general manager Jeff Luhnow were suspended for 1 year. Both were subsequently fired. However, Commissioner of Baseball Rob Manfred opted against punishing any of the players involved or revoking the Astros World Series title. Background: this was the first World Series matchup and second postseason meeting overall between the Astros and Dodgers. Los Angeles defeated Houston in 5 games in the 1981 National League Division Series, en route to first the World Series championship since 1965. The teams also met in the 1980 National League West tie-breaker game won by the Astros at Dodger Stadium. This was the first full Classic since, and the 8th overall, in which both participants had 100 or more wins during the regular season. The 2 teams did not meet in interleague play during the regular season. Los Angeles Dodgers. The Dodgers held a 91-36 record through August 25 and ended the season with a 104-58 record. They won their 5th consecutive National League West title and home field advantage throughout the playoffs as the overall #1 seed. In the postseason, the Dodgers swept the 4th-seeded Arizona Diamondbacks in the National League Division Series and then defeated the number 3 seed and defending World Series champion Chicago Cubs in the previous year's rematch of the National League Championship Series in 5 games, leading to the 4th time since 2000 the 2 teams played each other in consecutive league championship series. This was the first appearance in the Fall Classic with the Dodgers since 1988, the 10th since the franchise moved from Brooklyn to Los Angeles in 1958, and the 19th overall. Entering the 2017 World Series, the Dodgers' bullpen had thrown 23 consecutive scoreless innings, a postseason record for bullpen. Additionally, by outscoring the Arizona Diamondbacks and Chicago Cubs by a combined 48-19 margin, the Dodgers entered the World Series with the 3rd-best run differential of any pennant winner since the playoff structure was expanded in 1995. All-Star shortstop Corey Seager, who was out for the entire National League Championship Series with a back injury, was included on the Dodgers World Series roster. Manager Dave Roberts became first manager of Asian heritage ever in the World Series, as well as the 4th African-American manager. The Dodgers had the 2nd consecutive Rookie of the Year, Cody Bellinger, who hit 39 home runs in 2017. Clayton Kershaw finished 2nd in Cy Young Award voting, and closer Kenny Jansen finished 5th. The Dodgers had 6 NL All-Stars in Bellinger, Seager, Justin Turner, Kershaw, Alex Wood, and Jansen. Houston Astros. With a 101-61 regular season record, the team won its first American League West title, their first division title since 2001, and the #2 seed in the AL. In the American League Division Series, they defeated the third-seeded Boston Red Sox in 4 games and then defeated the fourth-seeded New York Yankees in the American League Championship Series ALCS in 7 games. This was their second World Series appearance, first since 2005, when they were swept in 4 games by the Chicago White Sox in first appearance as a member of the American League, which the team joined in 2013, as they became the first team in history to make it to the World Series as members of both National and American Leagues. The city of Houston in August 2017 suffered record flooding from Hurricane Harvey. The team began to wear patches which had the logo of the team with the word "Strong" on the bottom of the patch, as well as promoting the hashtag #HoustonStrong. Manager Jay Hinch has stated in an interview that the team wasn't just playing for a title, but to help boost moral support for the city. On August 31, just seconds before the midnight deadline, the Astros traded for Detroit Tigers pitcher Justin Verlander. Following the trade, including the regular season and postseason to this point, Verlander had posted a 9-0 win-loss record with a 1.23 earned run average. He was named the ALCS MVP. Pre-game ceremonies. Game 1, the ceremonial first pitch was thrown out by members of former Dodger Jackie Robinson's family, including his widow Rachel. The game marked the 45th anniversary of Robinson's death, and the 2017 season was the 70th anniversary of his breaking of the baseball color line. Keith Williams Jr., a gospel singer and Dodgers anthem singer, performed the Star-Spangled Banner, the national anthem. Game 2, Fernando Valenzuela threw out the ceremonial first pitch to Steve Yeager. Both were introduced by retired Dodgers broadcaster Vin Scully. Country music's Brad Paisley performed the national anthem. Game 3, Houston Texans defensive end J. Watt, who had raised $37 million for Hurricane Harvey victims, threw out the first pitch. The ball was given to him by Astros Hall of Famer Craig Biggio. The national anthem was performed by Texas Air National Guard Master Sergeant Promise Harris. Game 4, Haley Dawson, a 7-year-old girl from Nevada, threw out the ceremonial first pitch using a 3D printed hand. The national anthem was performed by the Houston Police Department Quartet. Game 5, former President of the United States George W. Bush threw out the ceremonial first pitch. His father, former President George H. W. Bush, handed him the ball. Justin Verlander caught the pitch. Country singer Clay Walker performed the national anthem. Game 6, Orel Hershiser and Tommy Lasorda, celebrating the Dodgers' 1988 World Series title, each threw out the ceremonial first pitch. Los Angeles Police Department LAPD officer Rosalind Curry performed the national anthem. Game 7, the LAPD quartet sang the national anthem. The first pitch was thrown out by Sandy Koufax. Rick Monday, Steve Garvey, and Don Newcombe participated as well. Game 1. The temperature at the start of the game was 103 F, which made this the hottest World Series game ever recorded. Clayton Kershaw started Game 1 for the Dodgers, while Dallas Keuchel started for the Astros. Chris Taylor hit a home run for the Dodgers on Keuchel's first pitch of the game. It was the third home run to lead off a game in Dodgers postseason history, following Davey Lopes in 1978 World Series and Cole Crawford in 2013 NLDS. Alex Bregman hit a tying home run for the Astros in the 4th inning. In the 6th inning, Justin Turner hit a go-ahead 2-run home run for the Dodgers. Turner tied Duke Snider for most career runs batted in RBI in Dodgers postseason history with 26. Kershaw struck out 11 in 7 innings pitched with no walks and only 3 hits allowed, while Keuchel allowed 3 runs on 6 hits in innings. Brandon Morrow pitched a scoreless 8th and Kenny Jansen earned a save. The 2-hour, 28-minute game was the shortest World Series contest since Game 4 in Game 2. The starting pitchers for Game 2 were Rich Hill for the Dodgers and Justin Verlander for the Astros. The Astros scored first when Bregman drove in Josh Reddick with a hit in the 3rd inning. Hill struck out 7 in 4 innings, but was replaced by Kent Amida in the 5th. Jock Pederson tied the game with a home run in the bottom of the 5th inning, and the Dodgers took the lead when Corey Seager hit a 2-run home run after Taylor walked in the bottom of the 6th inning. Verlander allowed 2 hits, both home runs, in his 6 innings pitched. Carlos Correa drove in the Astros' second run of the game on a single in the 8th, ending the Dodgers' bullpen streak of 28 consecutive scoreless innings in the postseason. Marwin Gonzalez hit a home run off Jansen in the 9th to tie the game. This was only Jansen's second blown save all season and snapped his streak of converting his first 12 postseason save opportunities, a major league record. The game went into extra innings. Jose Altuve and Correa hit back-to-back home runs off Josh Fields in the 10th inning to put the Astros in the lead. Yuli Gurriel doubled after the home run, but Fields was replaced by Tony Cingrani and Gurriel was stranded. In the bottom of the inning, Asel Puig hit a solo home run off of Kent Giles and Enrique Hernandez drove in Logan Forsythe, who had walked and advanced on a wild pitch to tie the game, with the latter being the Dodgers' first run that was not driven in by a home run. In the next inning, pinch hitter Cameron Maybin singled and stole second. George Springer hit a 2-run home run for the Astros off of Brandon McCarthy to retake the lead. In the bottom of the 11th inning, Charlie Culberson homered off of Chris Davinsky, who later struck out Puig to end the game. This was the first ever World Series game in which a team hit home runs in the 9th, 10th, and 11th inning. The team set a new record for combined home runs in a single World Series game with 8, and this was the first time in MLB history, regular season or postseason, that 5 home runs were hit in extra innings. The Astros won their first World Series game in franchise history as they had been swept in their previous appearance in 2005. Game 3. The starting pitchers for Game 3 were Yu Darvish for the Dodgers and Lance McCullers Jr. for the Astros. The Astros scored 4 runs in the bottom of the second inning on a home run by Yuli Gurriel and RBI by Gonzalez, Brian McCann, and Bregman. Darvish left the game after innings, which was the shortest outing of his career. The Dodgers scored 1 run in the top of the 3rd inning as Seager grounded into a double play after McCullers loaded the bases with 3 consecutive walks. The Astros added another run in the 5th on an RBI single by Evan Gattis, and the Dodgers added 2 in the 6th on an RBI groundout by Puig and a wild pitch. McCullers wound up pitching 5 innings and allowed 3 runs on 4 hits. Brad Peacock replaced McCullers, completing the final innings with no hits allowed and 4 strikeouts to earn his first major league save. It was the longest hitless World Series relief outing since Ron Taylor's 4 innings in Game 4 of the 1964 series, and tied Ken Clay for the longest hitless postseason save, first accomplished in the 1978 Hawks. Gurriel made a racially insensitive gesture in the dugout after his home run. He stretched the sides of his eyes and mouth in the Spanish word chinito, which translates to little Chinese boy. Darvish is from Japan. Gurriel apologized and said that anyone from Asia is called a chino in Cuba, although he acknowledged knowing that the term was offensive in Japan from having played there. As a result, Rob Manfred, the commissioner of baseball, suspended Gurriel for the first 5 games of the 2018 MLB season without pay, but allowed him to continue playing in the World Series. The ceremonial first pitch was thrown by Houston Texans pass rusher J. Watt. Game 4. The starting pitchers for Game 4 were Alex Wood for the Dodgers and Charlie Morton for the Astros. Springer homered off Wood in the bottom of the 6th for the first run of the ballgame. It was the only hit Wood allowed in innings pitched in the game. Forsythe drove in Cody Bellinger to tie the game in the top of the 7th. Morton struck out 7 and only allowed 3 hits and 1 run in 6 innings. Bellinger then drove in the go-ahead run with a double in the top of the 9th off of Charles, and the Dodgers added 4 more runs on a sacrifice fly by Austin Bonds and a 3-run homer by Pedersen. Bregman hit a home run off of Jansen in the bottom of the 9th inning, but the Dodgers won the game to even up the series. The Astros had 2 hits in the game, both were home runs. This was the first game in World Series history where both starting pitchers allowed 4 or fewer base runners. After Game 4, both teams' pitching coaches, Rick Honeycutt for the Dodgers and Brent Strom for the Astros, commented on how the baseball being used for the World Series is slicker than the baseball used during the regular season. Pitchers on both teams noted that this difference has made it more difficult for them to throw their sliders. 2 years after this game, when MLB sanctioned the Astros for sign stealing during the 2017 season, Alex Wood said he and Austin Bonds changed signs every 10 pitches because the Dodgers had suspected the Astros of sign stealing. Wood later said that the team tried to get Clayton Kershaw, Game 5 starter, to follow the same method, but Kershaw did not think it was necessary and did not want to disrupt his routine. Game 5. Kershaw and Keuchel started Game 5, in a rematch of the opening game of the series. Forsythe singled in 2 runs off of Keuchel in the first inning to put the Dodgers up early. A 3rd run scored on a throwing error by Gurriel. Bonds singled in the 4th to score Forsythe. Keuchel pitched innings for the Astros, allowing 5 hits and 4 runs, 3 earned. The Astros scored their first run with an RBI double by Correa in the bottom of the 4th inning, followed by a 3-run home run by Gurriel to tie the game. Bellinger hit a 3-run home run off of Colin McHugh in the top of the 5th to put the Dodgers back on top, only for Altuve to hit his own 3-run home run in the bottom of the inning off Meader to tie it back up. Kershaw pitched innings and allowed 6 runs on 4 hits and 3 walks. A triple by Bellinger on a line drive that Springer missed on a dive in the 7th inning off a Peacock scored Hernandez from first base. In the bottom of the 7th inning, Springer hit a home run off the first pitch he saw off of Morrow, who was pitching for the 3rd consecutive day, to tie the game. Bregman scored on a double by Utley to put the Astros ahead for the first time in the game, and then Correa hit a 2-run home run to extend the lead. Seager doubled in a run in the top of the 8th inning, but McCann hit a home run in the bottom of the inning. That was the 21st home run of the series, tying the record set in the 2002 World Series. Hughes broke the record with a 2-run home run in the top of the 9th inning. Down to their last strike, Chris Taylor drove in Bonds to tie the game with a single. In the 10th inning, McCann was hit by a pitch to put him on base with 2 outs. Subsequently, Springer walked on 5 pitches to move McCann to second base. McCann was then replaced by pinch runner Derek Fisher. On the next pitch, Bregman hit a walk-off single, scoring Fisher with the winning run. The Astros became only the second team to come back twice from 3 runs down in a World Series game. The other was the Toronto Blue Jays in the 15-14 win during Game 4 of the 1993 World Series. The 6 game-tying home runs in the series, to this point, is the most for any World Series on record. This World Series set a new record for most players to hit a home run 14 to date in a World Series, with the teams combining to score 25 runs throughout the game. This was the highest-scoring World Series game since the Florida Marlins defeated the Cleveland Indians 14-11 in Game 3 of the 1997 World Series. Game 5 lasted 5 hours and 17 minutes, making it the second longest World Series game in history by time. It has been frequently cited as one of the greatest World Series games of all time. The ceremonial first pitch was thrown by former President George W. Bush, accompanied by his father, George H. W. Bush. Game 6. Game 6 featured the same starting pitchers as the second game, Verlander and Hill. Springer hit a home run off of Hill in the top of the 3rd for the first run of the night. It was Springer's 4th homer of the series, tied for 3rd all-time in a single series and joining Gene Tenace in 1972. As the only players with 4 game-tying or go-ahead home runs in a World Series. Springer also joined Hank Bauer in the 1958 World Series and Barry Bonds in the 2002 World Series with 4 home runs in a series. The Astros loaded the bases in the 5th inning, but did not score. Hill pitched innings, struck out 5 and allowed 4 hits and 1 run. In the 6th inning, Taylor tied the game with an RBI double and Seager hit a sacrifice fly to give the Dodgers the lead. Verlander pitched 6 innings with 9 strikeouts and only 3 hits allowed. Pederson hit a home run in the bottom of the 7th inning and Johnson pitched 2 scoreless innings for the save, forcing a winner-take-all Game 7. Pederson tied a World Series record with his 5th consecutive game with an extra base hit. Andre Ethier, who appeared in the game as a pinch hitter, set a new Dodgers franchise record with his 50th career postseason game. Game 7. This was the first World Series Game 7 to be played at Dodger Stadium and the first postseason Game 7 of any postseason series at the stadium since the 1988 NLCS, and the Dodgers' first World Series Game 7 since 1965 against the Minnesota Twins. It was also the first time since the 1931 World Series that a Game 7 occurred in a series with both teams having won at least 100 games during the season. Besides, this was the first time since the 2001 World Series and 2002 World Series that back-to-back fall classics had a Game 7. The starting pitchers for this game were the same as in the 3rd game, McCullers and Darvish. Springer doubled to open the game and scored the first run on an error by Bellinger, which allowed Bregman to reach second base. Bregman stole third base and scored on an 0-2 groundout. McCann scored the next inning on a groundout hit by the pitcher McCullers. Springer hit a 2-run home run, his 5th of the series, tying Reggie Jackson and Chase Utley for most home runs in a single World Series and setting a new record with 29 total bases in any postseason series. As in Game 3, Darvish lasted only innings, tying the shortest outing of his career and became the 3rd pitcher with 2 starts of less than 2 innings in a World Series, and the first since Art Dittmer in a World Series. Morrow relieved Darvish and in the process became only the 2nd pitcher to pitch in all 7 games of a single World Series, joining Darrell Knowles in the World Series. McCullers lasted only 2 innings himself. He allowed 3 hits and hit a World Series record 4 batters. This was the first Game 7 in World Series history where neither starting pitcher got past the 3rd inning. The Dodgers failed to score a run and left 8 men on base through 5 innings. Andre Ethier hit a pinch hit RBI single that scored Pederson in the 6th inning for the Dodgers' only run. They only had one hit and 13 chances with runners in scoring position in the game. Kershaw pitched 4 scoreless innings of relief in the game, and in the process, he broke Orel Hershiser's Dodgers postseason record with his 33rd strikeout. Morton pitched 4 innings of relief to end the win, as Corey Seager grounded out to Jose Altuve, who threw to Yuli Gurriel to end the game, with the Astros winning their first championship in franchise history and ending their 56-year drought. Springer won the World Series MVP award. With the Astros win, for the first time since 2002, when the Angels beat the Giants in 7 games, a franchise won its first World Series title. It was also the first time since 1972 that an American League team won a World Series Game 7 on the road. The Astros were the first team to beat the 3 wealthiest teams in the sport, Red Sox, Yankees, and Dodgers, in a single postseason. After Game 7, the trophy presentation, usually taking place in the locker room whenever the visiting team clinches the series, took place on the losing team's field for the first time ever before a small crowd of mostly Astros fans that remained, as most Dodgers fans left the stadium. Correa proposed to his girlfriend, 2016 Miss Texas United States of America winner Daniela Rodriguez, on live television during a post-game interview conducted by Rosenthal. She accepted. More than a month later, a Sports Illustrated article revealed that the Astros had figured out how Darvish was tipping his pitches. Darvish holds the ball at his side when he gets the sign from the catcher, whether he re-grips or not as he brings the ball into his glove was the tip-off whether he was going to throw a slider/cutter or a fastball. This unnamed Astros player said the Astros had known about this going into Game 3, which they also won, but that they had an even better game plan for Game 7. After this revelation, 14-year veteran Chase Utley watched the film and later reported to Dodgers president of baseball operations Andrew Friedman that Darvish was not giving off any pitch tipping cues. Composite line score. 2017 World Series 4-3, Houston Astros AL beat Los Angeles Dodgers NL. This was the second straight World Series to end with the same number of runs scored by each team. Television. Fox broadcast the series in the United States, with Joe Buck serving as the play-by-play announcer, along with John Smoltz as color commentator and Ken Rosenthal and Tom Verducci as field reporters. For Fox Sports, Orlando Nichols provided play-by-play while Carlos Alvarez and Edgar Gonzalez provided color commentary. Kevin Burkhardt hosted the pregame shows, joined by analysts Keith Hernandez, David Ortiz, Alex Rodriguez, and Frank Thomas. Outside the United States, MLB International televised the series, with Matt Fasterstein on play-by-play and Buck Martinez doing color commentary. In September 2017, American Spirit Media removed the signals of their Fox affiliates from DirecTV and UVerse systems. As a result, some DirecTV subscribers in portions of the southeastern United States as well as those in the Toledo market were unable to watch the World Series. This dispute would eventually be resolved in January 2018. Ratings. According to Nielsen ratings, the series was the 3rd highest rated since 2005. Trailing only the 2009 World Series and the 2016 World Series. For the second straight year, a World Series game, Game 5, beat out NBC Sunday Night Football in ratings. Radio. ESPN Radio broadcast the series nationally in English, with Dan Shulman providing the play-by-play and Aaron Boone serving as color analyst. Tim Kurkjian and Buster Olney served as reporters for the network, while Mark Kesticker hosted the pre-game and post-game coverage along with analyst Chris Singleton. The ESPN radio coverage was carried on affiliated stations throughout the United States and Canada, as well as online at ESPN.com and via the ESPN mobile app. Spanish-language coverage was provided by ESPN Deportes Radio, with Eduardo Ortega, Renato Bermudez, Jose Francisco Rivera, and Orlando Hernandez announcing. Locally, both teams' flagship radio stations broadcast the series with their regular announcers. Sportstalk 790 aired the English-language broadcast for the Houston area, with Robert Ford and Steve Sparks calling the games. In Los Angeles, Amplitude Modulation 570 LA Sports aired the English-language broadcast, with Charlie Steiner and Rick Monday announcing. In Spanish, Univision America 1020 carried the broadcast, with James Jaron and Jorge Jaron on the call. In Korean, Radio Korea 1540 aired the series, with Richard Choi and Song Ha-yim in the booth. Sponsorship. For the first time, MLB sold presenting sponsorships to all of its postseason series. The internet television service YouTube TV is the first ever presenting sponsor of the World Series. The series is officially known as the 2017 World Series presented by YouTube TV. The sponsorship includes logo branding in stadium and unofficial digital properties, as well as commercial inventory during Fox's telecast of the games. Impact and aftermath. Overall, the 2017 postseason was one of the most thrilling postseasons in recent memory. It was the first time in the wildcard era 1995 present to feature winner-take-all games in each round. It reignited an old National League West rivalry, Astros-Dodgers, and sparked a new American League One Astros-Yankees as well. Since 2017, the Astros and Dodgers have consistently boasted the teams with the most regular season wins in their respective leagues, often by a wide margin. Every postseason from 2017 onwards has featured both teams, with the Astros winning 52 postseason games since 2017 and the Dodgers winning 40. Furthermore, every World Series since 2017 has also featured either the Astros or Dodgers, with the Astros making 4 appearances and the Dodgers 3. The Astros have since won the 2022 World Series, while the Dodgers won in 2020. There have been quite a few chances at a much-anticipated rematch between the two clubs in the World Series, especially in the wake of the sign-stealing scandal, but as of 2022 this has not occurred. In 2020, ESPN writer Sam Miller ranked the series the 23rd best World Series of all time and the 5th best since 2000, noting the prowess of both teams and the intensity of all 7 games, but noting the sign-stealing scandal has tainted the series, comparing it to the 1919 World Series. Houston Astros. This was Houston's first professional sports championship since the Houston Dynamo won the MLS Cup in 2007, and the first in one of the traditional Big Four American sports leagues since the Houston Rockets won back-to-back NBA championships in 1994 and 1995. The Astros earned $30,420,155.57 from postseason pool money to split among team personnel. Each share was worth $438,901.57. The Dodgers received $20,280,103.72, with shares of $259,722.14. The sportsbooks in Nevada lost $11.04 million in November 2017, a record for baseball-related betting. The city of Houston held the parade for the Astros on November 3, 2017, which Mayor Sylvester Turner proclaimed was Houston Astros Day. Schools in Houston were closed for the day. An estimated 750,000 to 1 million attended the parade. Springer and Altuve appeared on the cover of Sports Illustrated's November 13, 2017 issue, with Altuve holding the Commissioner's Trophy and Springer holding a copy of a Sports Illustrated from 2014 that predicted the Astros would win the 2017 World Series. The Astros win has been seen as a morale boost for the city of Houston, which 9 weeks earlier had suffered tremendous damage due to Hurricane Harvey. According to Manny Fernandez and Paul DiBenedetto of the New York Times, every city wants a World Series victory. Houston, post-Harvey, needed one. The 2017 postseason saw the beginning of American League dominance for the Astros. Starting in 2017, the Astros have made it to the American League Championship Series 6 consecutive times. This set the record for most consecutive ALCS appearances and second most LCS appearances after the 1991-1999 Atlanta Braves. Of these, the Astros have won 4 out of 6 pennants, losing in 2018 against the Boston Red Sox and 2020 against the Tampa Bay Rays, while winning in 2017, 2019, and 2022 against the New York Yankees and 2021 against the Red Sox. They would further lose the 2019 World Series against the Washington Nationals and the 2021 World Series against the Atlanta Braves before winning their second World Series in 2022 against the Philadelphia Phillies. 5 players, Jose Altuve, Alex Bregman, Yuli Gurriel, Lance McCullers Jr. and Justin Verlander were on both championship teams. Los Angeles Dodgers. After the season, Yu Darvish became a free agent for the first time in his career, and he chose not to re-sign with the Dodgers, as there was much fan ire against him for his disappointing World Series outings that many felt had cost the Dodgers the title. Darvish signed with the Cubs and continued to struggle with performance and injury in 2018 and early in the season in 2019, before returning to his premonition 2017 World Series form for the second half of 2019. He was traded to the San Diego Padres, a division rival of the Dodgers, prior to the 2020 season. The Dodgers would return to the World Series in 2018, where they lost to the Boston Red Sox in 5 games. After losing in the 2019 NLDS against the Washington Nationals, the Dodgers would finally win a 7th championship in 2020 against the Tampa Bay Rays. Though they remain one of baseball's most dominant teams, the Dodgers have not returned to the World Series since then, losing the 2021 NLCS to the Atlanta Braves and the 2022 NLDS to the San Diego Padres. Relation to Houston Astros sign-stealing scandal. Before the 2019 World Series, several Dodgers reached out to Washington Nationals second baseman Brian Dozier and pitcher Daniel Hudson, who had been with Los Angeles the previous year, to warn them that Houston was elaborately stealing signs. Upright equals 0.75 thumb alt equals picture of Rob Manfred. The commissioner of Major League Baseball, Commissioner Rob Manfred, began an investigation into the Astros sign stealing after Mike Fiers' allegations. After the 2019 season, former Houston pitcher Mike Fiers alleged that the 2017 Astros used technology to illicitly steal their opponent's signs and relay it to their hitters. This was later confirmed through numerous citizens' sleuths, and it showed the Astros used this method throughout the 2017 season and part of the 2018 season. MLB and the Astros opened an investigation into the sign-stealing allegation. MLB found the Astros used technology to cheat during the 2017 season and suspended Hinch and Astros general manager Jeff Luhnow for one season. The Astros fired Luhnow and Hinch the same day. Alex Cora, who was the Astros bench coach in 2017 and the Red Sox manager from 2018 to 2019, parted ways with the Red Sox after the scandal broke. Carlos Beltran, who was hired by the New York Mets, who was also part of the 2017 Astros, was also fired for his involvement in the cheating scandal before getting the chance to manage the team. Cora would eventually be rehired back for the season in Boston, while Hinch was named the Tigers manager a few days after the conclusion of their season-long suspensions. Besides Beltran, no other Astros players were punished. On November 8, 2020, ex-Astros general manager Jeff Luhnow sued the Astros, alleging that Astros owner Jim Crane and Major League Baseball Commissioner Rob Manfred negotiated penalties for the sign-stealing scandal that enabled the team to paint Luhnow as the scapegoat for the organization and fire its general manager in order to save more than $22 million in guaranteed salary. Longtime baseball writer Buster Olney said front office staffers around baseball cannot remember a circumstance of such widespread and allowed player-to-player condemnation. Angry comments from players increased when spring training began in February. Many players criticized the Astros, especially after their press conference at the beginning of camp. Many of the condemnations came from members of the Dodgers, who the Astros defeated in the 2017 World Series, and the Yankees, who the Astros defeated in the ALCS in both 2017 and 2019. The Dodgers were the only team to release a statement the week the report was released, only to say that they had been ordered by MLB not to comment on the punishments for any wrongdoing during the 2017 World Series. On July 29, 2020, Dodgers reliever Joe Kelly was issued an 8-game suspension after throwing at Alex Bregman and Carlos Correa of the Houston Astros and inciting the benches to clear after a strikeout of Correa. This was the first meeting between the Astros and Dodgers since MLB handed down penalties to the Astros for sign stealing. Kelly's party face mocking of Correa complaining about the near hit by pitch became an internet meme. Ironically, Kelly himself was a member of the 2018 Boston Red Sox, which themselves were implicated in a cheating scandal.